afternoon, guys. Before I start, yep, it is the same skanky t-shirt I've had on since last Friday. In my defence, I do, when I come home, I tend to sometimes sit in my work clothes most of the time and then just get ready for my bed. So I don't actually have it wearing it that often. But yeah, I do kind of notice that I do seem to have the same t-shirt on from one waffle to another. So yeah, and once again, this is the third time running, I think. I'm actually recording this on Thursday night. I am off to a wedding down in where am I going? Down in London, Tunbridge Wells. So I'm off work tomorrow. I'm travelling down. I'm flying down. My flight's at what time? 12:30 tomorrow afternoon, I guess. Yep. My wife's going to take me to the airport, and obviously flying to London down to Gatwick, and then my mate who's getting married is going to pick me up for the airport, and I'm going to be crashing out at his bit, and then on the Saturday I'm going to be going to their wedding, and we're originally going to. It was originally, I mean, my mate, myself. Tracy, my wife and Ava, the three of us were actually invited to the wedding, and I mean we were invited over a year ago, and to be fair we were all going to go. We thought we'll make a long weekend of it, you know. My daughter's never been to London, she's desperate to go to London, so we thought we'll make a long weekend of it. But you know, by the time you actually start doing all the logistics of, well, you know, we've got to be down there for the wedding on Saturday morning, we'd have to travel down on the Friday. My daughter's at school, so very quickly, unfortunately, we realised that it's not really practical. So yeah, it was decided that I'll just go myself. I mean, it's one of my mates. So yeah, it should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've not seen Mark for I would say over a year. So yep. So there'll not be any videos getting done over the weekend because I'm going to be in that there London. What have I been up to? Yeah, I have been doing. What was I doing? I was at the computer club yesterday. What did I take along? I took along my Amiga CD32. I'm just thinking, I've not actually done. Have I? Have I done a? I don't think I've done a look at my CD32 Mamemeister look at. That's what I need to get done. Yeah, so that's that. I was at the computer club last night. Good fun, usual motley crew were there. What else? Anything else? Game wise, have I been playing anything? I can't even remember the last time I had my PlayStation 4 or any of these things on. I can't even remember the last time I had that bloody MAME cab on either. But I keep saying the job just takes up so much of my time. It's funny how I'm so busy that by the time, you know, closing time comes, 5 o'clock, 5:30, whatever, I'm just, it's not so much I'm too tired, my brain is still switched on and it's just buzzing, and the thought of going out for a run is just like, can't be arsed. So yeah, I've not done any running for a while. I did get my new spangly bike on Monday. Really nice. It's a Boardman, as in Chris Boardman. Got it from Halfords. Cracking bike. It's a carbon bike. Now I'm not up to speed with my bikes. I got it for a really good price. I mean, my mate couldn't believe the price I got it for. Like I said, it's through the cycle to work scheme. You're supposed to cycle to work, but I don't. But they still allowed me to do it. So anyway, yeah, enough of that. 400 subscribers, bloody hell, when did that happen? Yeah, I think last Friday, when I made the waffle on Thursday, it was I was at 399 for, I would say, about 3 or 4 days, and I kept waiting for it to tick over, and I kept waiting, and then I did the waffle on Thursday, and then I can't remember. It stayed on 399, and then until I think it was the weekend, it went up to 401, and it's up to, I think, 405 at the moment. Now, I did say I was going to make a 400 special, but you know what? I've never made a 50 special. I've never made a 100 special. I've never made a subscriber number special. So, contrary to what I've just said, I'm not going to bother doing it for 400. But you know what? Thank you so much to every single person who has either subscribed, watched a video, commented, given me any support. It's couldn't do it with you guys, honestly. I mean, as I've mentioned 1,000 times, this, although it's me that does all the talking usually, I look upon this as a bit of a community. You know, there's channels out there a million times bigger. I'm maybe I think I'm, and I don't mean this in a boastful way, but I think I'm quite unique insofar as I do sort of talk about my subscribers on first name terms. A lot of guys in the the YouTube community, the sort of the video game community, they mention other YouTubers. They mention other YouTubers by name, but I don't think that I'm aware of anybody else other than myself actually mentions subscriber names. But you know what? When you're getting people who support me, all the time, then I think it's only right that you get a wee kind of a bit of banter going. And obviously, that was where the whole Mamemeister and Chums talk pish comes from. Great fun, really good. In fact, I will have to get. There's not been any other people wanting to come on. If you do want to take part in one of these things, just let me know, and we'll try and tie up. Yeah, I'll definitely want to get Brian and Jamie back on again. Hopefully get the sound sorted out. We did spend way too much time trying to get the sound balance. In fact, it was just trying to get the sound working that we ended up running out of time. So I definitely want to get one of these done again. But yeah, 405 subscribers. It's one of these funny things. I mean, my daughter, like a lot of kids her age, watch Minecraft, and as I mentioned, I was down at that Insomnia thing, and she went down there specifically to meet YouTubers that she watches, and these are kids. I say kids, they're probably mid-20s. These guys have got over 1 million people, so 400 is complete paltry. It's nothing. 400 subscribers is absolutely bugger all in the scale of things. But is anybody that's in my shoes who has actually has actually started a YouTube video, I was going to say from scratch. I mean, you can't start a YouTube channel any other way. Every single person that's in our little sort of classic video game YouTube community, every single person has had to start off from scratch, i.e. with 0 subscribers. And you know what, when you first start off, it feels like you never think you're ever going to get there. I mean, you look at other people, they've maybe got 100, 200, and you think, I'm never ever going to get that amount. But you know what, it's one of these things. I mean, I've always maintained you should never ever do a YouTube channel to try and become successful. Don't do it to make money. Yeah, you can monetize your videos if you want, but I think you're talking about serious numbers before it becomes anything worthwhile. It should always be about enjoyment. Make videos, record yourself playing games, talk to the camera, whatever you want to do. Do it because you enjoy it and nothing else. Never ever set out to try and get a YouTube channel so you can retire on the money. Somebody just texts me. Yeah, you should never do it for that reason. If you're doing it, if you're setting out to try and be successful and making money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. And I would say, don't go and do something else. Don't try and make money out of YouTube. Don't get me wrong. There are some people who are very successful at what they do. Even in this sort of like community, there's people who probably make a living, certainly make a living out of doing what it is. But these are few and far between. I mean, it's taken me 2 years to get 400 subscribers. There's guys who've done that really, really quickly. Again, it's all about getting yourself out there. It's getting yourself known. I mean, although I'm part of the Retro and Limb team, I do kind of keep myself to myself. I mean, I do what do you call it? I do like VR, you know, VR video responses to certain. It's not so much certain people. If I see a question that I think is quite interesting, then I'll do a video response. You know, so I do communicate with other guys in the thing, but a lot of them, they interact far more than I do, and that's not. I don't mean that in a bad fashion. I think maybe I'm a bit older than most of the guys that do this thing, but I just tend to kind of do my own thing. So, you know, I maybe don't get the same exposure, but like I said, you should never ever set up to actually do this thing. Now, before I forget, in fact, I'm going to pause it a wee second. Yeah, what was I going to do? I want to do a shout out. Again, this is something that seems to, you know, it seems to have kind of dried up, and I've never been shy in sort of expressing my disappointment, possibly, that's the right phrase to use, or right word, in the lack of shout outs in the community. I mean, Steve Benway gave me a shout out back in the day. Getting a shout out takes no time at all for somebody to do, but the impact that it has on a small channel doesn't even have to be a small channel. If, you know, at the end of the day, we're all watching videos, we all enjoy watching videos. If there's somebody you think's really good, then tell people about it. But in the main, you know, shout out. If you're a small channel just getting started, it's very difficult to try and get yourself out there, get subscribers. And like I said, I've always been disappointed at the lack of shout outs. I'm not talking about myself, by the way, I honestly don't mean that. But just other, you know, bigger channels could quite easily give a smaller channel a mention. You know, I don't know whether it's. I don't think it's jealousy or anything. I mean, I would hate to think that a bigger channel would not want to see a smaller channel get success, because at the end of the day, none of us make any money. It's all about having fun, interacting and that kind of stuff. So, you know, if you're a big channel, go and give some of the smaller channels a shout out. It does make a big difference. So anyway, with that in mind, I want to, I don't actually know his name, I want to put a shout out to a chap known on YouTube world as PC Baker. Now, he's currently got 7 subscribers. I've subscribed to him. I don't know how I've got absolutely no idea how I found his channel. He's a Englisher. You don't even be calling you that. He's English, I think. I don't know how long. Looking at some of his videos, I'm trying to see 2 weeks, 4 days, 7 weeks. No, that's 1 week. I think he's only been going for a matter of weeks. To describe what he says in his own words, he says, "This is my little corner of YouTube. Its primary focus is on PC gaming with some retro and hardware reviews." Right, okay, so he's not really looking for, well, no, retro and hardware reviews. Yeah, he seems to have a thing for shoot 'em ups, especially bullet hell shoot 'em ups, which is why I enjoy his channel. As anybody that watches my channel knows, I enjoy a good shoot 'em up. He's featured a few PC shoot 'em ups which are completely free. There was one he looked at yesterday. I can't remember what it's called. Choren Sha, I think it's called. Yep. Looks awesome. So I'm going to go and download that after I made this video. But yeah, he's. In fact, I'll tell you exactly. I'm sure it was Kevin down the rabbit hole. I'm sure he mentioned he'd mentioned them, and that's where I saw him. But yeah, he does shoot 'em ups, but he's an English guy. He's really nice. He comes across really well. He's commented on a few of my videos already, which is really nice of him. He's got a really good manner. I mean, he made a comment about something. I can't remember what it was. No idea. He made a comment about something, and I said to him, "That's a perfect idea for a YouTube video." So he's going to go away and have a think about it. But yeah, he comes across really well. His production values put me into shame, but then anybody's production values would put me into shame. You know, he's obviously very well versed when it comes to video and editing, and he's even done some shit where he was like, he'd kind of cut himself out and he was like overlaid in front of the game. So I don't know how you do that, but you need to teach me how to do it. But yeah, go and check him out. PC Baker, his handle is. I'm going to put a link to his channel below, so go and check him out. If you like what he does, then give the guy a wee helping hand and subscribe to his channel. So good on you. Yep, that's that. What else? Yeah, it's not going to be a big video, as I say, week in, week out. Sorry, I'm scratching my foot. Oh, right, I've got two things. Yeah, 400 subs, I've already spoke about that. I haven't really finished, have I? Or have I? No, just 2 years it's taken me to get to 400 subs. Yeah, that's what I was going on about shoutouts, wasn't I? You know, if I was to go back 2 years, to suddenly be in 400 subs would seem an incredible figure. And it is, you know, for people starting off. I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted how well it's going. I seem to have I had various features, different features that I used to do. I mean, I think I used to do, that was the year that was on a Monday, then I would do Arcade Perfect My Arse on a Wednesday, then I would do a mashup, then I would do the Friday Waffle. I kind of got a bit bored of that. And so, I mean, saying that, I did do an Arcade Perfect My Arse a couple of days ago. Was it Tuesday, I think it was. I was sitting at the computer at lunchtime and I thought, I don't know what, I was watching something, I thought, I fancy doing one of these. And the great thing about an Arcade Perfect My Arse, you can actually turn it around fairly quickly. Back in the old days when I used to point the camera at things, it would take forever to do it. But because I can use the video capture software, I can turn it around quite quick. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed making the Galaxy, and I think it seems to have gone down pretty well. Jamie kindly mentioned, says it's great to see it return. It's a series that I'm really proud of. It's technically not got an ending to it because, you know, how many games are there? There's thousands and thousands of games. I did get a bit bored of it. I think it's like anything in life. If you keep doing the same thing time and time and time again. Now, I've got to say, this is actually my daughter's mug. One Direction. That's probably worth a bloody fortune now. That was his face. Can't remember what his name is. Zane, he's gone. So, yep, I've got a very rare One Direction mug here. If anybody wants to make me an offer, buy it now, 50 quid. What was I talking about? Yeah, the Arcade Perfect My Arse. If anybody's not seen it, I basically take a classic video game that's had various ports, home ports, and what I do is I play the arcade version, then I play various, I basically play every home version I can possibly get my hands on, usually through emulation because it's a lot easier to make these things. But like a lot of games, they're ported to thousands, well not thousands, they're ported to tens of machines at times, IBM PC, and you know, some of these are just hard to get your hands on, but I think I really enjoy making the Arcade Perfect My Arses. It seems to go down really well. I did get fed up with them for a while, that's why I didn't make any for quite a few months, but it was great to kind of get one out. But one thing you've probably noticed if you do follow my channel, I've kind of not been sticking to any plan. I've just been kind of making random videos. I mean, I've been making, I did a few months back, I was doing Amiga shoot 'em up, best shoot 'em ups. Then obviously I did the C64 budget, the worst budget games, best budget games. What else? Yeah, obviously the Arcade Perfect My Arse. Just different things. I'm trying to keep the channel fresh, and not even so much for you guys, but for me, because I think when you start getting bored, then you know, it gets, if you're getting bored making videos, then people are certainly going to notice it, and they're just going to unsubscribe and stop watching your videos. So yeah, that's where I see myself going. Where are we now? We're now into, we'll be coming up to October soon. I would absolutely love to hit the magical 500 before Christmas. And I'll tell you right now, if I do get to 500 before Christmas, well, in fact, when I get to 500, I will be doing some kind of giveaway. I'll need to find something up there that I can give away. Some wee prize. We'll come up with some kind of competition thing of some kind, like how many times did they swear or whatever. I don't know. We'll come up with some stupid competition thing, and I'll do some kind of giveaway. Yeah, so let's, if I can get to 500, that would be awesome. One thing I have noticed, looking at bigger channels, the more subscribers you have, the easier it seems to get more subscribers now. I don't know whether that's because it's like a bit like the Facebook thing. If somebody watches a video, then somebody who watches that person's videos, they then see a link to, oh, here's a Scottish bloke playing a game, I'll have a look at that. So the more you have, the more you kind of get. You know, I have definitely noticed that when you've got really low numbers, it's bloody hard to get any. Even just to get one or two is difficult. So hopefully that will continue. But like I said, if I can get to 500 subscribers before Christmas, that would be awesome. 500 people. I mean, my daughter slags me. You know, she'll compare me with PewDiePie and say, you've got 400, he's got 30 million. But you know what I told, I said to her, can you imagine having 400 people all in one room? That would be like, I don't know, 2 large cinemas. All these people, 400 people is a lot of people. Imagine having all these people in the room with you and you're going to talk to them, it'd be quite nerve wracking. So I says, look, never mind being so cheeky, 400 is a good figure for anybody. So yeah, that is it. Right, that's that. I've only got one question, and it's from down the rabbit hole. Thank you, Kev, as usual. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan. Your upcoming interview with John Studley. Now, before I continue, yep, I spoke to John yesterday. I did propose Monday, but he can't make it because my wife's actually away down south until Tuesday, and I really need the house to myself when I'm doing one of these interviews. So hopefully that'll be in the next couple of weeks. Yep, your up and coming interview with John Studley has made me think about Pac-Man a lot recently, and I clearly recall the first time I played the home port of it on my Atari 2600. That particular version of the game gets a lot of bad press for being such a poor rendition of Pac-Man. What are your earliest memories of the Atari version? Did you only play it after it became notorious for being so bad, or did you get it when it was new? Actually, Kevin, that was one. Well, I'll go back a bit. When Space Invaders and that came out, or not Space Invaders, when Atari 2600 came out, there was obviously adverts on TV for it. In the UK, it was £100. Now, £100 back in 1979 was a shitload of money. It's probably, I would say it's probably the equivalent of about £500 nowadays. I don't know what that's in dollars, about $700. It was a lot of money. I mean, everything in the UK is always more expensive than at least the States and Canada, I'm thinking. When the Atari 2600 came out, it was £100, and that was all I wanted. I would have done anything to get one. It was quite literally my dream thing to own, an Atari 2600. But you know what, my mum and dad, they couldn't afford it, and they categorically told me that I would never own one because it was simply too expensive. So it was something that I never ever got to own ever until about 3 years ago, when I got it for about 20 quid. So yeah, I never had won one, but I had a mate who his mum and dad were, no, they weren't divorced. His dad worked in oil rigs, so he never saw his dad. His dad was always away on the oil rigs. His mum used to play bingo, and you know, looking back now, you can see what was going on. She literally used to at the weekend, almost throw him out the house. She would give him money, and she would go and do her own thing. And he basically, I wouldn't say he brought himself up, but he was basically at a loose end a lot of the time. And because of that, I think because his dad never saw him, his dad used to buy him things all the time. I used to be quite jealous because it was like, you know, he got this, he got that. But you know what, I got love, I got attention, I got holidays, I got my mum and dad's attention, you know what I mean? He didn't get that. But he told me one day that he had an Atari 2600, and you know, I didn't know anybody else that had one. So he agreed one day, it was over the summer holidays I think it was, he agreed one day to bring it across to my house. And it came with Pac-Man. So we set it up in the, I was going to say the downstairs TV. Back then you only had one TV. We set it up on the TV in the living room, and we played this game all day, and it was Pac-Man. And I can remember just thinking this was the best thing ever. It was, you know, it was the first video game, home video game, other than Pong, which was shite. First home video game that I'd ever seen in my life, and this was just incredible. So yeah, we played it all day, and I think I got a big bloody what do you call it, blister on my hand because of the joystick. I mean, the joystick was obviously getting broken in. It was quite kind of stiff to use. But what it came to, I don't know, 6 o'clock at night, and my mum was like, right, you need to go home now, son. You can come back in the morning. Now I cunningly convinced them, I says, well look, since you're coming back tomorrow, why don't you just leave this here and you can get it in the morning. So yeah, he agreed. So off he went, leaving me with the Atari 2600 wired up to the TV. So he disappeared, and I promptly played Pac-Man. Try saying that when you're drunk. Promptly played Pac-Man for about 4 or 5 hours until I eventually got chased off to my bed. Then he came back the following morning and we played it, and then obviously he took this thing away. So yeah, that was the Pac-Man. Atari 2600 Pac-Man was the first video game I ever played. Loved it to bits. It's a game I've got a huge amount of nostalgic happiness. Yeah, when you move up and down, he only ever faces right or left. He never actually faces down the way. His mouth always remains horizontal. There was a lot of things that probably weren't ideal about the game. I mean, the flickering is down to the hardware on the Atari 2600. Apparently, it was programmed over something like 2 weeks. The guy never had a cat's hailing chance of getting a good version out. But you know what? For all the comments and negativity about the game, I still think it's actually alright. It feels like Pac-Man. It's got really original dong 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 dong. You know, it's got really original sound. It doesn't really sound anything like Pac-Man, apart from the wee bit when it kind of just disappears up its own backside and disappears, and you know, in a puffy smoke. I think it's good. Yeah, you know, I dare say if somebody made, I think was it Miss Pac-Man came out and it looked 100 times better. But I do think the criticism that it had, people were saying it was like the worst game ever. I mean, they say that about what's the name, E.T., but they also say that, you know, the version of Pac-Man was terrible. Yeah, it could have been better, but you know what? To me, it was Pac-Man, and I still had a hell of a lot of fun playing it. It's one of the first games, that and Space Invaders. It's one of the sort of 2 games that I do play on Atari 2600. I know you think that's crazy. I've got a MAME cab with Pac-Man. I've got all these different versions of Pac-Man, arcade Pac-Man. But I still enjoy playing Atari 2600 Pac-Man. So I think that probably pretty much sums up what I think it, Kev. So anyway, what are you saying here? I'm going to pause it a second. Right, what were you saying? Yeah, it gets a lot of bad press for being such a poor rendition of Pac-Man. What are your earliest memories? I've just told you. Did you only play it? I always shake my head when younger gamers complain that the 2600 version of Pac-Man pales in comparison to the original arcade machine. I think my dismay with those complaints is because I grew up naturally expecting the home version of any arcade game to be a poor man's version. I never expected what I could play at home would be anywhere close to what I played in an arcade. Is that a symptom of being an old video game player? Did your generation just accept that home versions would never be as good as the games we experienced in the arcades, or was that just me? Not at all, Kevin. I mean, you know, we were lucky enough to be there at the very, very start. Hardware was limited. And, you know, so when, I mean, Arcade Perfect, my arse, which I did this week, was Galaxian. Now, if anybody's watched it, you'll see that probably bar 2, maybe 3 versions, they're all pretty poor. But you know what? It's just exactly what you said there. We didn't expect our £150 computer was going to be able to compare with an arcade game. You know, it was all new to us. So it didn't matter the fact that the graphics were shite, or the fact that there was only so many levels, or the fact that the sound was rubbish, if indeed you even had any sound. You know what I mean? If you're a Spectrum owner, half the time you played games in complete silence. No, we didn't. I mean, it was this whole thing just to see a moving thing on a TV, to be able to control something on a TV was very, very special. So when you're playing stuff like Atari 2600, Pac-Man, it was amazing. I mean, I've heard people saying that back then we filled in the gaps. You know, when we played Combat on the 2600, as far as I was concerned, I was actually controlling an actual real plane. You know, in reality it was some shitty flickery wee graphic that was spinning about, you know, going between clouds. But when you're actually playing it, your brain filled in the bits that were missing. So, you know, graphics didn't matter. It was all about the playability. And, you know, nobody can ever... I mean, even now, don't get me wrong, I would not go back to that. I wouldn't replace my Xbox 360 with Atari 2600. But the satisfaction that I got out and the excitement I got out of playing these old systems is easily just as much, if not more, than the satisfaction I get out of putting a game on my PS4. People of a different generation, you know, the PlayStation generation, guys that grew up, you know, their first machine was a PlayStation. They were used to playing stuff like Ridge Racer, Tekken, you know, 3D graphics. It's no wonder these guys look at, you know, Atari 2600 games and think they're shit. Because, yeah, looking at them, they are shit. They're totally shit looking. But you had to be there at the time to realise that they were actually good games. It's like, you know, when my dad was here, bless him, you know, we would talk about, he would, you know, music and films, and, you know, some of the films that my dad used to love watching, I wouldn't give the time of day to, because it's like, that's shit. And it's funny, I was talking to my wife, we were watching Back to the Future. They were playing Back to the Future, was on the TV last weekend. And the funny thing is now, it's one of these things you see all the time in Facebook. You know, this time 30 years ago, or today's date was the date that Marty McFly went into the future, or back to whatever it was. Now, I watched it last weekend, and I think Marty McFly goes back to, is it the 3rd of, he goes forward in time to, I'm sure it's the 3rd of October 2015. So literally in the next fortnight, we're going to be in the time, the year that Marty McFly went forward to. Now, the funny thing is, we were kind of laughing at it, when he went forward to that date, they had hoverboards, their cars flew, you know, they wore ridiculous sunglasses. It's not like reality, like nowadays every guy's got a big beard and that kind of stuff. We're still not, we still don't have hover cars, we still put petrol in cars. Yeah, the only one thing that I must admit I was quite impressed with, he had a massive TV, and a big massive choice of channels. Well, that part has come true, you know, we've all got huge big TVs. But yeah, the hoverboards and that, apparently, I did read actually, that apparently they have actually invented a hoverboard. It's not commercially available, unfortunately, but we do have that. But yeah, it's interesting to see how people 30 years ago portrayed the year 2015. Well, now we're in the year 2015 and things haven't really changed that much. Yep, we've got smartphones and we've got the internet, and everything else is exactly the same. We still have to drive about in cars on 4 wheels. We still have to put petrol or diesel into cars. Yeah, and we can't go to the moon for our holidays. no doubt that'll all change in the coming years. But yeah, what I was saying, I said to my wife, I said, I wonder, that film is now 30 years old, 30 years, 3 decades old. I said, I wonder if, like, my daughter, would she want to watch Back to the Future? I says, because it's still a credible film regardless of how old it is. But what she said to me was, well, no, because that film is a 30-year-old film to her. I mean, she's 11 now. My daughter, not my wife. Yeah, my daughter's 11. So yeah, if she watched Back to the Future, say in 10 years' time, say when she's 20, that'll be another 10 years, another 9 years away. Back to the Future will be almost 40 years old. What is the chance of somebody wanting to watch a 40-year-old film? You know, it wouldn't matter if I tell her, you know, Back to the Future and Star Wars are like the best films ever. She's thinking, I don't want to watch a 40-year-old film. So, you know, I don't know. There's going to be people who are like geeks. Like, I mean, I play video games that are like 30 years old. I dare say there's going to be, I mean, there's plenty of people that watch black and white films. I mean, my favourite comedians are Laurel and Hardy. I think they're absolutely fantastic. You know, I still watch all the shorts that they made and I'm still pissing myself with laughter. They're just brilliant. Nobody can touch them. Nobody's come anywhere near to Laurel and Hardy. I mean, they were just way ahead of their time. They were utterly fantastic. Yeah, so going back to your question, yeah, I don't really fault younger people thinking that the Atari 2600 was shite, because, you know, let's be honest, compare it with like Call of Duty. It's garbage, absolute bollocks. But if you were there at the time, then it was the greatest thing ever. You know, it's hard to explain the excitement that that we felt playing these games. It was all new to us, you know. And like I says, when you're playing combat, and you're driving a tank, as far as you're concerned, you're actually driving a real tank. So yeah, I think, was that it, Kev? I think that was everything. So no, it wasn't just you. We accepted home versions for what they were. We never expected, you know, nowadays if you showed somebody Outrun, they would just automatically expect a pixel perfect version Outrun with a perfect sound. There's no way we were ever going to get a perfect version Outrun, and unfortunately that was true. So anyway guys, that is it. That's another Friday Waffle been sent to the editing table to get put out. Like I said, by the time you watch this, I'll put it out tomorrow morning before I go. By the time you watch it, probably I will be in that there London. Pardon me very much. Yeah, so there'll not be any videos over the weekend because I'm not going to be here to make any, and I don't actually have any. I've not pre-recorded any. I used to do that when I had loads of time, but I've not got any pre-recorded. So the Friday Waffle, this video will be the only video that you're going to get this weekend. But I do get home on Sunday evening and I'll get back to normal on Monday. Coming up, I says I want to get John Studley back in for another talk. I want to hear all about his perfect Pac-Man score. I will get Jamie and Brian back in, and again, I'm going to say it again, if anybody wants to take part in the Mamemeister and Chums Talk Pish, then please just let me know below. Quite happy to have anybody on. It's good fun. And that is it guys. So anyway, as usual, thank you for watching. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching my Mamemeister channel. Please feel free to like, comment or subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter.